EA Sports and the United States Golf Association are proud to present a national championship. Today, it's live second round coverage of the U.S. Open Championship. Hello again and welcome to the U.S. Open. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo. We're here at Chambers Bay with those massive rolling fairways, the towering dunes, unpredictable coastal winds. What a test, Frank, for the best players in the world.
That's right, and it's going to be the first time these professionals are going to play it. We've seen it host a U.S. amateur in the past, and this is a daunting test, especially if the wind gets up. There's enough bunkers out there to trap the best players in the world. Those greens fast and firm enough to repel any shot that's not struck perfectly.
So we're ready to get the round going here at Chambers Bay, and we'll begin, Frank, at the first with a par 4.
496 yards, obviously that'll stretch anybody out there. That bunker down the right is very much in play. The fairway does narrow out too, just short of that. So this really is going to require one of your best tee shots. Semi-blind second shot, a relatively big green. I'm loving that balance.
Frank, that's as good as I have seen all day long.
I think we've got to blame that on the weather. That weather, the wind had to help that ball give it another 20, 30 yards.
All right, Frank, how would you break down this approach shot here at the first at Chambers Bay?
Well, Rich, it's partially blind, so you've really got to fixate on the exact point that you want to aim at. That's one of the beauties of this golf course. So maybe even just have a little look and make sure you know that line, because once that ball hits the ground, the natural contours are going to take it a certain direction. So really fixate on that line.
That is a green in regulation as the approach shot hits the first green, but he is by no means in for par yet. A lengthy putt coming up. Well, there's an opportunity wasted.
Just knock it in for a par and let's forget about this one. Golf is not about perfect, but it is going to hurt the course.
Oh, man.
I just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. And getting ready for the putt. That's a bogey, but still in the lead.
We start to see shots in hand really valuable.
Second hole now here at Chambers Bay on the U.S. Open, Frank. It's a relatively short par 4.
It doesn't mean it's easy, though. This is more of a strategic hole. You want to lay the ball up around sort of 270, 280 yards. Avoid that big bunker on the left. It is going to leave a short iron in, but the hole bends to the left as well as the slope of the land is right to left. Got to take that into account.
Good contact, good result. Frank, you've been there so many times. Is it fair to say that a U.S. Open is as much a psychological test as it is a physical test?
I think that's a great way to put it, Rich. It really is. People know that you're not going to get instant gratification at a US Open. You're going to sort of get hit more than you'd like, especially come the end of the week. But also in the back of your mind, you realise that's the way you should be tested, maybe once a year. That's all, and that often determines the best player in the game.
That would be a great look at birdie. Birdie try again here today. You know his head is in a good place. You make the disappointing bogey at the first, put it behind you, come right back and make birdie at the second. Well done. Now set to play the first par 3 of this U.S. Open, Frank, the third hole here at Chambers Bay.
A little bit like the second hole where the contours slope from right to left. So if that breeze is coming from that direction, that's going to swing the ball all the way across the green. And this green is anything other than symmetrical. There's a big green, and they're going to use every inch of it.
Not terrible, but not his best.
Yeah, outside chance, really, for birdie, but really, it was a rather poor approach shot.
Always two components to the long lag putt, the speed, number one, and then the read. And missed out on that second part. Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. That's a nice confidence builder right there. You make those for par, and you keep things steady. Frank, the fourth hole here at Chambers Bay is the kind of par 4 that says, emphatically, U.S. Open.
Yeah, it's not a rarity these days to have par 4s that are around 500 yards. This is just slightly shy of that. Once again, it's a stiff tee shot. Avoid trouble left and right. A little bit of a bend to the right on this hole, but don't be fooled by that. If anything, the drive has to be hit down the left side.
Frank, did you hear the sound of that coming off the club face?
It was like a cannon. Oh, that was sweet. Straight down the middle.
This will require a good one. This is a 190-yard second shot. Frank, the USGA was determined to hold a U.S. Open in the state of Washington. It had never hosted one before.
And it's determined, too, to go to sites that are more natural. We saw that with Pinehurst in 2014, the restoration by Corin Crenshaw, and we're seeing it with Chambers Bay. These are golf courses, I think, that any level of players can go out and play, rather than the U.S. Opens of the sort of the 80s and the 90s that were just so stringent.
Another good swing, and it looks like another really good shot. I mean, that's how on the game is played right there.
He's just making it look so easy. That birdie coming up, formality.
Birdie here yesterday. This putt again for birdie. Racking them and stacking them right now. 6 under par for the tournament. And now over to the 5th. Frank, we're early in the second round. What have you seen so far?
I've seen a lot that can be improved on too, but there's enough good there. That's the main thing. You know, the scorecard doesn't always reflect how you're playing, but a little bit of basics out there. Fairways, greens, maybe knock a couple of putts in. All of a sudden that scorecard looks different.
Frank couldn't ask for anything more.
Just the lie there, too. It is sitting up like it's teed up.
Frank, what do we have with the approach shot here at the 5th?
Just got to be cognizant of that bunker. That's you can see it there. That's just central front of this green. You either got to go around it, or if you're good enough, then you go straight over it. But you've got to have a ton of spin on the second shot.
Just averted danger right there. So close.
Why does he have all the luck?
Frank, this would be a nice way to jumpstart the round.
Yeah, his momentum can quickly go in the right direction if he makes this. That's the cruelest thing about this game, Rich. I mean, it's just now it's another shot.
Just a little tap in here. He'll take par and move on. Frank, now at the 6th, this appears to be a testing par 4 long one.
It is, but once again, a generous fairway. Just use those mounds down the left as an indicator on your line. Hole bends a little bit to the right. Good tee shot, though, and everything is in front of you. Whoop, this is taken off on a weird line.
And it's going to be in the rough, it looks like. Frank, he is one of the longest hitters in the game, but at some point, you have to hit a fairway.
Yeah, he's certainly not the straightest. I think that was the bit you're going to put in the middle.
This is a good-looking shot.
I mean, just skill. And that was sublime.
Just good hands, coming out of the rough, able to manage the distance, and now in great position. Made a par in his previous round. This time, it's for birdie. Frankie took plenty of time on this birdie putt. He looked at it from 3 different angles. He forgot one very important ingredient.
Yeah, pace. You can definitely fall in love with the line, even with approach shots as well, but obviously we see it more on putting.
And he has it.
A good putt redeems all.
On the 7th tee now, it is over 500 yards from the back tee.
Yeah, this is called humpback, and you can see why there's all those mounds and undulations between you and the hole, plus all that amazing bunkering down the right side. All to be avoided, really. If you can do that, then you get a decent look at this green. But yeah, you've mentioned it, 500 plus yards. It's going to play longer than that uphill.
In the fairway, it's lying nicely, and 180 yards left. We just saw a player in total control of what he's doing. Didn't miss a green in regulation all day long. Settles in over the putt. Oh, I thought he had that. You couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. Just a couple of feet. Those keep the round going, those par putts. Now to the second par 5 of the round here at Chambers Bay and the U.S. Open. It's a long one.
Yeah, it's a beast. You miss this fairway, you could be hitting all day long, and of course that's going to rack up a fairly healthy score. Meanwhile, hit the fairway there. Only the longest hitters will reach this par 5 and 2, but still a good chance, even with a wedge, to make a birdie because the green slopes back to the player. Nice.
Looks good. Great strike and a great result. Sitting up, good chance to attack the flag. Playing his second shot here at the par 5. And it makes the green in regulation. Par yesterday, now for birdie. I'll tell you, he's setting himself up for a good weekend. Former college #1 makes another birdie. Frank, the 9th hole is called Olympus. Feels as though Russell Crowe should be standing on the tee, starring in some sort of a movie about the Greek gods.
I knew you'd go like Titans and that down here. But this golf course is for the mere mortals, Rich. This isn't for the Greek gods and the Titans of the world. They might think they are, but this is for you and me. This is for everybody. 36 handicaps. We can all play here.
This is just a superb performance. Great round to this point, Frank, and you can really see that reflected in his mood today.
Yeah, it just looks too easy. Swinging the club beautifully. Ball's going exactly where he wants it to. He's not trying to take too many risks. So consequently, he's getting birdie opportunity after birdie opportunity.
He's knocked it on the green, but not in a great position. This is a difficult chance coming up here. Long birdie try. That's a head-scratcher. No other way to put it. That close to the green and misses it badly to the right.
Oh, what an incredible shot. Rich Lerner and Frank Nobilo back with you here at Chambers Bay in the U.S. Open. Now to the 9th hole, closing out this front side.
Well, it just goes to show the tremendous variety that the designer Robert Trent Jones II has done here. We've seen already a tremendous variation, and then this sort of just goes on top of it. Elevated tee, goes down to a green that just slopes a little bit to the right, well bunkered on the right.
We knew it right away. Picked up the tee, didn't even look at it. We can see it. It's perfect. Right down the middle of the fairway. Early part of this back nine and a good approach shot. Now we'll have this for birdie. Different day, different hole. Made bogey yesterday. He'll do better this time, it looks like. Just continuing to play some really good golf. 8 under par for the championship. Well, here we are at the 11th. Frank, this is a brutally long par 4.
And a little bit blind, too. There's that big dune in the middle of the fairway, and it's sort of a bit daunting. You're not quite sure what's behind that. Well, what is behind that is actually fairway. And just carry it over there. That'll certainly shorten the hole up. And then from there, it's a little bit of a dogleg to the right.
Come on, that's not even human. That's ridiculous. That is 350-plus yards. Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Frank, obviously way too much club there.
You got to think something like that, or at least misread the wind. This is never going to sit down.
Frank made this hole just a little bit harder hitting it into the rough.
I would say a lot harder.
Well, this is how you build a good round, Frank. You just keep hitting greens. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. Wow, he got robbed, Frank.
No, it's like kissing your mother-in-law.
Trying to get out of here without too many bumps and bruises. This one is for bogey. That's a bogey, but that probably won't hurt. Frank, as a player, do you like the drivable par 4? And we've seen these setups now at just about every single U.S. Open.
When you're playing well, there's no question, then they favor the guy playing well. But if you're struggling, no one likes their hand forced. The 12th forces your hand. It's tough to lay up on this hole.
Drivable par 4, not for most in this field, but for this guy, yes, he has just knocked it on. What a shot.
It's at sneaky distance.
Tremendous display of golf this has been.
Certainly throwing an eagle against the field, too. We've seen it all. Birdies, eagles, just blitzing the field from start to finish.
Coming down the stretch here at the U.S. Open at Chambers Bay, just 6 holes to play. And Frank, this par 4 13th will really test the players.
It is. If someone makes 3 here down the stretch, it will be monumental. A 4 here, no one would leave this hole unhappy.
He makes a great pass at the golf ball. It's powerful, but it's rhythmic at the same time. Not the longest, but not bad. 295 yards in the fairway. The second shot now to the par 4. Little Sheba down. Just averted danger right there. So close.
What does he have all the luck?
Birdie here yesterday. This putt again for birdie. Really starting to shine, moves to 10 under for the tournament. Frank, a 5th consecutive par 4 here at the U.S. Open. This is the 14th hole, and I'm guessing by the time you set foot on this tee, you'll know exactly where your game is at.
Oh, this one here, great reward for someone that's driving the ball well. If you can drive it, down the left middle, avoid that little one-pot bunker in the middle of the fairway, you're going to certainly shorten this hole up. And then you can start to use the contours of this hole, too, that bend right to left. And 546 yards becomes much shorter than what you would think.
But this could be really good, Frank.
Oh, straight at it.
Frank, he is one of the longest hitters in the game, but at some point, you have to hit a fairway.
Yeah, he's certainly not the straightest. I think that was the bit you're going to put in the middle.
Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
That's still not done. A good third shot. Maybe get away here with par.
So he didn't hit the green in regulation, but he still has a reasonably good chance to save his par, about 10 feet away. Well, you just can't make up ground if you don't make putts. Drop shot here at the 14th hole. This one just requires a little bit of focus.
In this situation, Richard, bogey's not all that bad. Still has the lead.
Getting set now to tee off at the 15th here at the U.S. Open par 3, and it stands out because it has the only tree on the golf course.
It looks magnificent, doesn't it? Get your eyes back on the green, Rich. Come on. When they use the short tee for the U.S. Open, just 167 yards. So this is really a hole that the players are just going to eat up if they get the right wind conditions. Just an 8 or a 9 on from 160 yards for these boys. To a green, that, well, it should be very well received. This is not heading in the right direction.
It looks like it's going to be in the rough.
Shot now from the rough. Frank, what's he facing?
Well, the lie first and foremost. If it's sitting down, then obviously you're not going to get a very good contact. Nothing wrong with coming up a little bit short of the green. Problem is turning one mistake into another.
Frank, not close, but from that lie, not bad.
Oh, that's excellent. Seriously, given the conditions, Rich.
19 feet away. Frank, amazing how this hole has gotten away.
He's not Robinson Crusoe. Happened to everybody that's played this game.
Bit unfortunate, loses a shot here with that bogey. Getting set to take on the finishing holes here at Chambers Bay. How do you do it in the right way, Frank?
Well, when you look down this fairway, obviously everything slopes left to right. That makes this hole actually play a little bit more of a dogleg to the right, even though it doesn't look it. And then, of course, that green up ahead, it's like a tabletop. So precision here is absolutely paramount.
It's nice to roll in a 25-footer now and then. Those feel good. But still, there's nothing like hitting that perfect tee ball. Long, straight.
Yeah, you can puff out your chest, last to play, the advantage, holes shorter. Basically, the list goes on.
I think this one looks like it might have a postage stamp on it. Airmail City.
Yeah, lick it, send it.
Wow, lucky break right there, Frank.
Well, that's what everyone else is going to say, except him.
Birdie putt coming up. Had a par on this hole yesterday. Really hitting on all cylinders now. 9 under for the tournament. Now to the 17th, par 3 here at Chambers Bay.
Yeah, they say beached at 16, that's the name. This one's called derailed. So you imagine coming down the stretch of a US Open, exactly what you're going to require. That's your best golf, and you're going to need your best tee shot here at this par 3. It mightn't be overly long, but when you look at that green just sitting up there perched, this one you do not want to make a mistake in.
On the green, I'm looking at a birdie opportunity. Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. Well, you couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. He has this for par. Par here's fine, isn't it, Frank? Now to the 18th hole, Frank, everyone wants to finish in style.
Yeah, the home hole here, once again you head back to just a wonderful view, and you realize that Chambers Bay was designed as a walking golf course, and it was designed to have fun and test every department of your game. 18 will do that. It probably gives you more trouble on both sides of the hole than any other hole on the golf course.
That one is in the fairway, down there about 290 yards. And now the second shot here at this par 5. Paying attention like a little kid at school, Frank. That baby's sitting up.
Sitting up. It's got the best view as well. You don't even need binoculars from where that ball is.
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Oh, looked like he caught a flyer right there, Frank.
Well, I don't know what he caught, but this is way too much.
Playing a par 5, Frank, what happened on that third shot?
Yeah, it's a poor decision. But, well, hopefully he can eradicate that from the memory banks and really knuckle down on this. Do not want to drop a shot or make 6 here.
And he's made the green. Bogey here yesterday. Chance to better that today. In for par.
Well, Rich, 2 rounds in the books, and it's easy to see why the leaders are on top of that leaderboard.
Excellent performance, but still a long ways to go in this tournament.